In an era where most people think the pinnacle of driving is a Ferrari or a Lamborghini with butterfly doors reaching to the sky or a Rolls-Royce with umbrellas. But if you really strip away the fantasies, if you cut through the noise of horsepower wars, neon underglow, and turbo whistles, you'll realize that it all comes back to not just German engineering, but that from the region of Bavaria, where the finest automobile maker pitched tent and churned out wheeled classics. Maybe it was your neighbor's E46 M3 screaming down the block every morning like it had somewhere better to be. Maybe it was your uncle's 5 Series sitting in the driveway looking way too rich for the house behind it. Or maybe it was a tired old 3 Series at the gas station, held together by 200,000 miles and pure stubborn pride. You've seen the quality of the work of the Bavarians before. A Beamer should be on your radar for your garage in 2026, and here's why. The first time you sit inside a BMW, it just feels different. The proportions are just right. The driver's seat doesn't just hold you, it positions you like it was custom built to fit your spine. The wheel feels thicker, heavier, as if it only wants to be held by hands that actually care about driving. But that's not all. Even the pedals line up neatly, almost like someone studied the way your foot would move on them. The feeling of being in a Beamer can't quite be explained. It doesn't feel like it was designed for an audience. It's intentionally personalized. Before you even turn the key, you will understand that cars aren't just machines. They also have character and personality. Driving a BMW feels like tasting proper espresso after years of watery gas station coffee. Before you try it, you don't know, but at that moment, you won't be going back. Are you really a car enthusiast if you haven't gone through your own personal numbers phase? This is a phase where horsepower is the only thing that matters to you as far as cars go. It's like oxygen. You memorize dyno charts the way sports fans memorize MLB and NBA stats, and quite like Derek Jeter or Steph Curry, BMW gives you plenty to brag about. That's when you discover the M division. The mad scientists hidden in Munich who exist for the sole reason of building cars that can scare supercars. Now you can't help but obsess over the E92 M3 with its 4.0-liter V8 screaming all the way up to 8,400 RPM. Or maybe the F90 M5, the family sedan that secretly doubles as a guided missile, capable of humiliating cars twice its price. This is when you abandon English and start speaking in numbers. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds and 500, 600, 700 horsepower become your favorite phrases. BMWs become your weapon of choice in the endless bench racing wars. You just want more boost, more torque, more numbers over paint colors and leather stitching. And then the moment you accidentally take an off-ramp a little too fast, but the BMW doesn't squeal and beg for mercy. It settles, balanced, and composed, almost like it was waiting for you to figure out the truth that straight lines are boring. This is the ultimate light bulb moment. The instant where the realization of what you're missing hits you is when you discover something numbers can never tell you. You realize that speed isn't the whole story, and control is just as important, if not more important, in a car. This is where BMW separates itself. While other cars chase theatrics, BMW is about balance and perfect harmony. From weight distribution to the steering feel of the chassis rigidity. The BMW engineers make sure they build poetry in motion. It is at this point you find out about the Nürburgring or the green hell where every BMW, from the smallest coupe to the biggest M car, is tested and shaped. Suddenly, those late-night YouTube binges start making sense. Then you become obsessed with geometry to answer questions like, how does a 340 horsepower M3 keep up with a Ferrari that makes twice the power? This is when you become infatuated with words like suspension geometry, torsional rigidity, and corner balance. You watch old M3s carve through corners like scalpels, and you start craving something you barely even noticed before. Forget drag races. You don't want a car that's fast in a straight line. You want a car that makes you feel alive while cutting every bend like an experienced F1 driver. And nobody, absolutely nobody, makes cars like that better than BMW. And before you know it, you're hooked past the point of no return. You don't even bring up 0 to 60 times anymore. Instead, you're casually churning out phrases like steering feedback into conversations, while your non-car friends look at you like you may be needing a trip to Arkham soon, like you've lost it. But you haven't lost it. On the contrary, you've finally found it. You found out that the simplicity of your E30 is actually luxury. No excesses, just you and a machine that obeys your every command. You try an E46 M3 and it feels like shaking hands with a friend you didn't realize you missed. You slide into an M2 and you swear someone engineered joy directly into the throttle pedal. BMWs stop being cars you look at from afar. They become machines you study. You hear the intake growl at 6,000 RPM. You feel the clutch bite like it's alive. You notice how every single corner changes depending on how you move your weight. But the thing is, every enthusiast hits a wall eventually where they have some outgrowing to do. You've blown cash on mods that didn't work. You've owned projects that drained your soul and your bank account. You've even chased validation in horsepower numbers and Instagram likes. And then one day you sit in a Beamer again. Maybe it's just a humble 3 Series or a legendary M3, and something hits you. You realize that although this is not the fastest car you've ever driven, it's not the flashiest either, but it's just right. It's not what you want, but it's downright what you need. The seat cradles you like it knows your spine, the shifter falls exactly where your hand expects it, and the engine pulls not violently, not lazily, but with purpose and precision. The steering doesn't scream at you, it whispers. And in that quiet whisper, you realize this is it. BMW has always known the truth you just figured out. Driving was never about spectacle, but about connection. And when a car gets that right, you don't need more modifications or luxury. You just need mileage. BMW is nowhere near perfect. It's actually more about engagement. Where other cars want to be your personality, a BMW just wants to help you own yours when you're behind the wheel. BMW cars are not the most luxurious, nor the most powerful or outrageous machines. But the truth is, they don't need to be, because every time you step inside, the world outside gets quieter. The noise fades and the road becomes sharper. It's not a performance, it's a partnership between you and your car. Other cars demand your attention, but a BMW earns it. So why is your dream car a BMW? It's not because it's the rarest car to find, only driven by a select elite club. It's not because it's the loudest, but because BMW, more than almost anyone else, remembers the important truth that driving is about feeling alive. You can find this truth in the E30 teaching you that less can actually be more. The E46 M3 proved that balance beats brute force. The F80 reminds the world that steering feel still matters. And the M5 shows that 4 doors don't mean you can't terrify a supercar. Every generation, every chassis code, every model, they all carry the same DNA, the same devotion to the driver. And when you've been through enough cars, enough trends, enough distractions, you realize that this is what you were chasing all along. Not the flash, not the chaos, not the applause, just the feeling of being alive behind the wheel. And that's why in a world that never stops shouting, your dream car is a BMW, because it's one of the few cars left that still knows how to listen to the driver. What's your favorite BMW? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.